Hi everybody, thank you so much for being here. I've mentioned before, if you've seen my video already this week, that it's a little bit different this week for me. I am doing no makeup, kind of giving my whole body and face a good cleanse of just not putting products on it other than moisturizer and that sort of thing. Just because I was dealing kind of with some lip issues, but I think that's all figured out. I think I may have been kind of allergic to my toothpaste or something, but I had changed and now I'm back and blah blah blah. Anyways, I wanted to my last Wellness Wednesday, which I'm not sure if I'm posting this when I'm posting this video. This one might be my Friday video. I wanted to be as open and as real, and I strive for that because I think it is so important to not put on all of these different veils and things that make me or anybody feel like they're not approachable. And especially coming from me, who I am now on this other side of not being a victim. I am now a survivor of domestic abuse. I have lost 150 pounds. I have overcome so many things in my life that I don't want it to be something where it doesn't seem achievable for somebody else. I'm truly here wanting and trying to create a platform that helps other people. Ultimately, that is something that I have always wanted to do, and I really am fulfilled when I am able to help others. But today I wanted to have an honest chat about body positivity and loving myself and my body, which has been extremely difficult. I won't lie. As many women and men who are heavy or grew up heavy can attest to, I was bullied as a kid for being overweight, being fat. I always remember being the fattest kid, and that obviously took a toll on me. This past week in therapy, I was able to talk to my therapist about the days that I had that were really challenging for me. And I always often seem to mention how I don't understand exactly how I got into an abusive relationship. And it really always stems from, we come back to my body. And I think it is just extremely important to understand that kids are so impressionable. And when you are young, and especially nowadays when, 8, 9, 10-year-olds have phones and can look up anything in an instant online, seeing what bodies look like and having this impression of what you think a body should look like is equated to being beautiful and being sexy and being, validated. When I grew up, I feel like I had a pretty healthy relationship with my parents, and I'm very thankful for the relationship that I had, but there was definitely disconnect with me understanding nutrition and food. And that's where I think I obviously had all of these body issues, and I was overweight because I ate too much and I wasn't getting enough exercise, and maybe there was some more medical things to it that we didn't really explore or get into or whatnot, but I was always heavy. Like, I had never not been heavy. And so I ended up remembering during therapy when I was probably 9, 10, 11 years old, remembering that I wrote in a journal that I was afraid I would never find love because of my body. And understanding that I was 9, 10, 11 years old, so young, before puberty, and already worried that because of my outer appearance, because of my body, because of being bullied, I didn't think that I was worthy of love. And so I obviously didn't take time, I was a child at that point, didn't take time to better myself and understand, eating and working out and all of the things you can do to better yourself and have your body become healthier. But I think it's so important because it definitely shaped and was one of the many things that went into me ending up in an abusive relationship. Because I was validated by a man who seemed to enjoy my body and seemed to find me attractive. And that was enough for me. Although there were all of these red flags and all of these things that he got away with pretty early on in me knowing him as a person. It didn't matter to me because all I wanted and all I craved for in my life was being validated by a man that my body wasn't ugly, that my body wasn't gross or disgusting. And it is one of those things that cuts so deep for me because it is something that I learned so young, and it is very hard for me to grow and enlighten myself and realize that obviously what I went through was not okay. When I was young, kids should not be worried about that. Kids should not be thinking that. And I want anybody to know or realize that I hope that you aren't still thinking things like that. Because I have to tell myself every day that I am worthy and that I am beautiful and that I matter and that my body is beautiful. I now have lost 150 pounds, which I have a video about how I lost the weight. I'm not sure I can put it up here if you care to watch how I lost the weight, but I now am in a very different body. I am in a body that I'm able to go on runs and walks, and I can do cardio and I can lift weights, and I am pushing my body physically the most it has ever been pushed in all of my life. And it is very difficult to stare at myself in a mirror and see extra skin and to see things that I still depict with being young when I was young and being ugly and not being worthy and associating, wrinkly cellulite skin with being fat and being ugly. I have my moments where I feel so proud because I am so proud of myself for accomplishing what I did, for getting out of that relationship, for putting my mind into focusing on my body for once in my life and losing the weight, changing it and changing my lifestyle for the better, eating healthy, eating whole foods. But I still am so self-critical of my body because I look at myself and my skin and I still see the mistake that I made and the mistakes I made. I need to, and I hope everybody does, realize and be kind with myself that going through something so drastic as losing that much weight, there are obviously going to be pros and cons to it. I can't think of one other con though. So, does that make it really something that I wouldn't want to do? Would I really rather have 150 pounds extra on my body, where my heart is working too much, where my lungs are working too much, where I can't breathe, where I can't walk upstairs? There are so many things that I couldn't do because of that weight. And here I am, worried about my body and how I look because of some extra skin and some cellulite. Because I have this notion that those things aren't what a beautiful, sexy body would have. And that goes all the way back to me as a kid, from media, from wherever I learned it, whether it be my parents or not, that whatever kind of body perfect is what is beautiful and is what is supposed to be loved. So I have learned that I need to take more time to center myself and my body. I have come across and now been enjoying yoga a lot more. And I did a whole kind of like boudoir photo shoot for myself. And it was to try to make myself feel empowered and sexy and beautiful. Because the more and more that I look at it, my body, the less and less I can be ashamed. The more and more exposure that I have of my body, the more I see and the more I consciously think about what it's been through, what I've been through, what my mind has been through, the more I know it is okay. The more I realize that it is beautiful, that it is amazing. Think about it. This body has been put through hell and back. It has been dragged, beaten. It has been through some things. And yet here it is, a couple years later, able to take me on a 5-mile run walk with just a little bit of leg soreness the next day. I want nothing more than for anybody who has lost a lot of weight, including myself, to realize that even though my body might not be what I have been taught for 25 years of my life to think as what is beautiful, I need to change the narrative in my mind and understand that it is, that I am, that my skin and my cellulite does not define who I am. I am still a work in progress in many, many ways. But it is the one thing that I struggle with most. It is the one thing that has always held me back. It is the one thing that I think truly helped to dig deep and get me locked into an abusive relationship. So this is for anybody. Know that your body is beautiful as long as you are trying your best to be healthy. I personally can't condone behavior that is self-sabotaging. Drinking yourself to sleep, overeating, doing things that aren't healthy for your body or mind, I have learned is no way to cope, is no way to deal with things. Although everybody has to deal with things in their own way, it is just, I hope that you are able to find somebody that can help you. If you can't find help yourself, to talk to somebody. My body is definitely different than most, but it also has such a story to tell. And that's why I wanted to share it with you. I remain strong, and I try to remain strong for everyone, whoever may end up watching this. But know that it is okay to have your days and your times where things don't feel quite right. But I overall think of things in my life and where I am in a much more positive light than I have my whole life. I feel more free, more whole, more open. Through our stories and through living, that people can learn. And I hope that people can learn from me and not being so critical and not being so hard on themselves, to learn to love themselves, to take the time to love yourself and your body, being kind. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing. Try to do something you love every day if you can. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.